What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got another top 10 video to count down from the Dynasty Warriors series, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the top 10 betrayals from the Dynasty Warriors series. So most of the betrayals in the games are based on like actual historical betrayal, but I'm going mainly on like the in-game stuff of what's happening. So if there's something here or something not here that's either in history or not history, whatever it may be, it's because I got it from the game. Now, before jumping into the top 10, we're going to talk about one honorable mention before we jump in. And the only reason that it's here is because when I first saw it, I didn't have the knowledge that I had back then when I first saw a cutscene that I do now. So it was extremely shocking for me to see. And that is the ending from Dynasty Warriors 9, Mr. Zhang Hui working with Zheng Wei. I didn't know at that time that that's actually what happened, and that's how they ended up actually getting killed and everything. So when I first saw them, doing his thing in the mountains, and then Zheng Wei creeps up and you see these boots, and I'm like, what is happening? And he moved out the way and it's Zheng Wei. For me, that was a huge reveal because I, again, didn't know much about the novel, so that was crazy to see. But I guess the betrayal in there would be Zheng Wei joining Zhang Hui. I just never thought that somebody as passionate as Zheng Wei would have joined forces with Zhang Hui. I mean, maybe he was trying to use him to make Shu pop open again. That's the speculation. But regardless, me seeing Zheng Wei work with Zhang Hui is an honorable mention for me, and that's all I really have for if I run in circles. Let's go ahead and jump into the top 10 betrayals from the Dynasty Warrior series. Number 10, joining the enemy.
You don't get it. It was Wei that tried to kill me. Or would you rather I say, I will kill you in the name of Shu?
Your father must be rolling in his grave.
I don't think so. If I know my father, he'd be smiling.
So Xiaohou betraying the kingdom of Wei, going to Shu. I think they take good moments with it. I like the hypotheticals in Dynasty Warriors 8 when they kept up to him and Gu Huai kind of talking to him. In Dynasty Warriors 9, I do like the little monologue that he has with himself, the inner monologue. He's going back and forth. I think that's depicted pretty well for him. And honestly, that's pretty much it. That's all I really have for Xiaohou coming up here at number 10. Nothing too significant or anything like that. I just like to see the conflicting emotions for him. It's very interesting to watch, but that's it. That's all I have. Let's go move on to number 9. Number 9, a breach of duty.
Strength. I find that I must leave your side for a time.
What? Where are you going, Zhao Yun?
To search for what I seek. I ask that you forgive my breach of duty. And I know where to start. Liu Bei. There is more to that man than meets the eye.
Leaving Gong Zunzan to join Liu Bei is among one of the best betrayals in the game. It's only really, I think, explored in Dynasty Warriors 6. I don't think any other game really talks about it. Maybe Dynasty Warriors 5, I think they maybe talk about it. I forgot, I don't remember his story. But I know Dynasty Warriors 6, he has his moment. He fights with him, then he leads after. And he ends up joining Liu Bei. Definitely one of the bigger moments, I would say. That's why it's here. It's a betrayal, but it's one of the bigger moments in the history because if Zhao Yun didn't do that, who's to say if he would have had all the great feats that Zhao Yun would have known to become? He would have probably never been the poster boy, and him doing that, initiating the betrayal, is what led him to being Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun leaving Gong Zunzan to join Liu Bei is coming in at number 9. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Number 8, humility and justice.
Father, enough! You have stepped too far off the true path!
Next up, coming in at number 8, again, importance. I don't think it's that high, but I still think it was interesting to watch. After his father gets killed, him and his brother, abandon the forces of Wu or the rebellion forces and go over to Jin. After Zhuge Dan killed his dad, what's the point of him staying around there? And I just like watching it. I like the hypothetical when, his dad tries to stand up and he's there like throwing the thing at him and basically telling him to sit down and accept your defeat. I like Wen Yang's introduction. I think they did it well in Dynasty Warriors 8. They don't really show it in Dynasty Warriors 9. It's very minuscule. I think they just talk about it, but there's no like cutscenes or anything around it. It's just interesting to see a character who technically was given the credit of killing Sima Shi and then becoming a part of the other team and leaving after and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, nothing too like significant. It's just a very small moment that happened. I think Wen Yang's a good character, and I like to watch that little thing happen for him. Hopefully they give him more than just that though. But yeah, number 8 is going to be Wen Yang. Number 7, unbridled anger.
Power. I want you dead. And once I'm dead, what will you do? I will rebuild Wei under the Emperor.
Again, when it comes to impactfulness, I don't think it's super huge. It was definitely like shocking to watch, I guess. But Don's not really like a character that, at least for me, I watch and I'm just like enamored by. I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Now we get to fight him and kill him, you know, and move on from that. But I would say it's, you know, I think it's one of the more noticeable betrayals because he was so enamored with Sima Shi, and then he passes away, blames Sima Zhao, and then he leaves. And you know, in Dynasty Warriors 9, I think they did a good job with it because Sima Zhao was trying to appease him, giving him like a really high title for the eastern side of, you know, the kingdom, while Sima Zhao focused on the west, and then ended up betraying him, and that's a huge deal. And you know, they had their moments in Dynasty Warriors 7, so there's a lot of good moments from this betrayal, but the character himself, Don, I don't think is too impactful. Nobody's like clamming over Mr. Don, so I think it's a good betrayal because it has good moments, but that's pretty much it. And that's why it's here at number 7. Number 6, The Spirit of Benevolence.
I have at my disposal.
I can no longer return to Wei. I shall do as you ask.
Definitely a significant betrayal because of what Jiang Wei would do with Shu and expeditions he would go on and, you know, everything surrounding that. But Jiang Wei, you know, I would say is an important character in Shu. It could be argued whether or not he's a good and bad character. Regardless, him jumping ship from Wei to Shu is significant because we wouldn't have those chapters after Wu Zhong if it wasn't for that, I would say, because if, you know, Shu didn't have Jiang Wei, who else would they have had? I mean, they didn't really have many other people. Ma Dai, you know, Liu Shan wasn't doing anything. He wasn't sending out Jing Sai to go fight, so without Jiang Wei, after Zhuge Liang's death, what would have Shu been? Shu wouldn't have lasted that long, so I think it's a very significant moment when he leaves Wei and goes over to Shu, and that's all I got for him. I mean, I think it's a very important betrayal. So, number 6 before we hit the top 5 is Jiang Wei hopping over to Shu. Number 5, A Beautiful Betrayal.
Bloom again in pride. Well, it's only natural, isn't it? Those of true beauty are destined to be loved.
My lord, forgive me. This one might be a little too strange.
I think it's extremely important, at least the way they do it in the games. Again, we're talking about mainly in the games that the characters that were acquired during this betrayal. The Battle of Guandu and everybody that betrayed Yuan Shao during that battle. I know Zhang He, Zenji, and I want to say either it was Shu Yo or Guo 2. Might have been both, but one of those names also left. They revealed the location of the Wu Chao supply depot after turning over, burning that down, all that stuff. In the games, you usually burn it down first, and then you get the characters that come over, and that led to Cao Cao winning. But definitely a significant betrayal. You know, I think Cao Cao gets some pretty significant characters. Zhang He, one of the 5 elite generals of Wei, Zenji being one of the OGs for the Wei Kingdom, swapping over to his side. Definitely a significant betrayal. They get some really good characters, and that's all I have to say about number 5. Number 4, A Glimmering Blade in the Darkness.
Huh? Come on, why don't you say something? There's another one?
Zhang Fei being betrayed by his own men, and they, you know, killing him at night and then fleeing to Wu. Absolutely insane. Now, was it warranted? That could be argued, yes or no. You know, Zhang Fei wasn't the nicest of people. He might have brought it upon himself, but regardless, his own men, who I would assume he either trusted or he just assumed that he was so in control of the situation that he just didn't think it would happen, getting slain by them in the night and then moving over to Wu. Absolutely insane. Dynasty Warriors 9 does a great job depicting it. I think it's the first time that we actually get to see it, which is really cool to watch. Most of the other games just kind of reported. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty blanket statement. There's not much else to say about the betrayal. Zhang Fei being killed by his own man, one of the biggest betrayals, one of the biggest like whoa moments, especially if you're like new to the game. I think it's a very significant moment that you're like, no way, and that's why it's here at number 4. Number 3, Facing the God of War.
You would break the alliance between us?
You would dare speak such words?
Our lord, Master Lu Su, all of us wanted to believe in Liu Bei.
Now again, it could be argued that it was warranted, you know, however you decide to look at it. The main point is that Wu betraying Shu is one of the biggest betrayals from the game, 100%. You don't have the Battle of E-Ling. You really don't have a lot of the things. I mean, history would have been completely different if it didn't happen, because it's such a big move to make. You pincer Guan Yu, you kill him, and then Liu Bei has visceral reaction, and then the dominoes start hitting. Zhang Fei dies, Huang Zhong dies during the battle. Lots of other characters start to fall. Shimo gets killed, and then Liu Bei dies right after the battle. So that betrayal sets in motion a lot of changes, with like major changes, major changes. One of the most significant moments from the games is 100% Wu betraying Shu, attacking Guan Yu at Fawn Castle, getting him to retreat to my castle, I believe it was, and surrounding him and eventually executing him. Should be a no-brainer that it's here at number 3. Let's go ahead and move on to the silver medal. Number 2, the Demon Betrayer.
You're thinking of snatching Sha Pi while brother is away. Curse you, Lu Bu! How dare you turn on me? Show me nothing but betrayal. I desire revenge, and I will have it!
Coming in at number 2, I don't have a specific pinpoint for this one, so I'm just going to blanket statement by saying the number 2 betrayal in the Dynasty Warriors series is Lu Bu, betraying pretty much everyone. There's not one person I don't think he did not betray besides the people on his own forces, and even then, you know, it's interesting. Well, yeah, him betraying Liu Bei, him betraying, you know, the Yuan family, Dong Zhuo, Ding Yuan. I mean, this dude just be betraying every person left and right, and he's just clumped up into one thing. That's why I see he's here at number 2, because if he's serving somebody, he's going to betray him. And they make sure to keep that trait in most of the games. I think in the Empire's games, he does the same things. And that's pretty much self-explanatory. That's it. I mean, Wild Man Lu Bu himself just couldn't contain his ambition, I guess. I don't know what it was. Ambition or stupidity, which ended up leading to his downfall. But 100% Lu Bu betraying pretty much anyone that he was, you know, allied with or serving. He ended up betraying them in some shape or form, and that's why this man's here at number 2. Number 1, shared visions.
Sima Yi, you must heed my final order. Build a world such as none ever seen before.
Appropriately arrogant to the end. And yet, I shall remember this admonishment of yours without fail.
Definitely a jaw-dropping moment. We saw it coming. Absolutely insane. He betrays Cao Pi as well, but that's not as impactful because he ends up losing because you're playing as Cao Pi. But his story mode, you're playing Sima Yi, you get to that second last cutscene, and you got Cao pelted, just absolutely shredded with the needles coming out of his gloves. You know, he gives out his last final speech, his last final order, which is amazing. He pulls out the needles, he does his big old thud. It's a jaw-dropping moment. You know, it's a jaw-dropping moment. Dynasty Warriors 5, because we saw hints of that, right? Dynasty Warriors 5 was hints of it. Cao I don't think lived long enough for Sima Yi to do that. I don't think there was any like story modes or hypotheticals where that happened, but Dynasty Warriors 6, they went all the way through. Cao lived to see the end of the Three Kingdoms, right? He unified it, and then you're playing Sima Yi's story, and he ends up betraying Cao. Absolutely insane. Definitely the number 1 betrayal for me personally, because just watching it was very impactful. I was like, what the heck? But anyway, guys, that is all I have for my list. And this is a top 10 betrayals from the Dynasty Warriors series. Not the most exciting list, but just something I wanted to talk about. Let me know what you guys think about my list down below. Was there a betrayal that I missed, or maybe something was a little misinformed? Again, I couldn't go into every single detail about the betrayals because it'll make the video too long. We ain't trying to do that out here. But a nice little short, sweet list about my picks for the top 10 people that have been betrayed. And that's really all I have to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I definitely appreciate a like, comment, or subscribe down below. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.